As man is asleep, he can do nothing. Man asleep is less than human. But a man who awakens can summon his will when required. In the second movie of Dune, there is a scenario where Paul doesn't want to fight. Now, he is the son of a duke, and he has been trained all his life to fight. But it has been almost a practice, and yet there is no more time. His master teacher of how to fight, knows there is no more time left to be a boy, to be a student. He must accelerate the process. For Paul may be in danger. And what he does is he goes to him in the normal time where he would practice his fighting skills. And Paul says, no, I don't feel like it. I don't want to fight. I don't feel like it. I'm tired, or whatever he says. And the master teacher says, no, be on your guard. Fight. And it scares Paul. You can see in this scene of this movie from the book Dune by Heinlein that Paul is initially afraid because his teacher, whom he loves, now has become dangerous. But the teacher knows that he must force the boy to become a man. Moreover, how does he make this transition? It is that he is forcing the young man to realize that the talent he has must be able to be summoned at will, whether he wants to fight or not. He must be able to find will inside him so that regardless of how he feels, regardless of external circumstance, regardless of weakness or strength, the will can be summoned. His talent can be summoned at will, and he can fight. Now, in the Gurdjieffian tradition, in the work, the system, Gurdjieff teaches us that we are all asleep, but that we work to awaken. One of the key points, one of the key skills, is to be able to summon your will in order to summon your talent. Now, this can be many things. To fight, yes, a great fighter, an artist, a writer, a teacher. Whatever it is inside of you that is your talent, that you have, that is your special ability, and it can be anything. That just does not occur. You will not just develop that, because there will always be a reason for you to be tired, or to feel intimidated, or that you cannot do it. You know the talent is there, but you can't make it happen because you have no will. Before your talent can be accessed, you must develop your will. And there are ways to do this in the fourth way. Part of being asleep is the recognition that you cannot do anything. And in the mystery schools, we are taught in a very special way to realize that we think every day that we can do things, but we cannot. We just spontaneously act. That is not the same as acting willfully or acting with intention. But the will in man has to be developed. It does not come without effort and work. And there are particular laws in which Gurdjieff teaches, law of the octave, in which we find that we are able to shock ourselves in order to make the completion into becoming awake. Where we find ourselves today in our society is that the masses are de-evolved. The masses are asleep. This has always been man's condition, but now it has become terribly, terribly important and more acute as the population has just exploded. Because man is no longer able to be connected to nature, connected to God through nature, he has turned to his imagination, and his sleep has become deeper and deeper. It is not limited to any race. It is for all men now. It seems as if men have more and more opportunities to do things, but actually they have become deeper and deeper into sleep, and they are less able to do things, even though activities and energies seem to be exploding. It is pointless. What are some hallmarks of people being asleep that you can see? Mimicry. More and more now, people just simply mimic what their peer groups do or what they are shown on advertising. They are more and more susceptible to this because they are more and more in sleep. Now, of course, that is something that the system, the capitalist system, encourages because it is like in the Matrix movie, turning human beings into usable commodities where they are slaves to the machines that they carry around, their phones, their automobiles, but yet in their being entertained and in their sleep, they produce a value which is translated into financial gain for the system. But like in the Matrix, human beings are not human. They are simply, in the Matrix, they show them as batteries, but I think a more apt description would be as slaves. More and more people are simply enslaved by the golden cage that life is now. So mimicry, simply doing what the peer group does. I'll tell you a brief story. When I was a young man, I was a waiter in a rather pretentious restaurant in this small city in which I grew up. And when we would come out, we had a dessert we would possibly sell or use, and it's called Bananas Foster. And it had flaming rum, and it was quite a scene when I did it at the table. Very quickly I learned that if I sold one, and I did this wonderful, beautiful dessert at the table, that almost the entire restaurant would then order the dessert. It never failed. And it seems sort of an amusing story, but what it shows you is the power in peer groups. And these were fairly affluent people in the restaurant, middle-aged and fairly younger to middle-aged, aspirational spending status. But that they would immediately order this expensive dessert because they saw their peer group doing it. Now you may dismiss this and say, oh, that's amusing. However, I will tell you this. They could not do it. Where I live now, in my home, where I grew up, been in my home now for over 50 years, all of my neighbors are no longer the old neighbors that I had as a child. They've all passed away. The new neighbors all are new money, but they're highly status oriented. They cannot go 1 week without mowing the yard, without buying the new car. They mimic what the peer group tells them. The peer group governs them rather than having their own values and promoting their own values, developing their own values. If you develop your own talent and then develop your will to summon your talent at will, then you can break free of what the group does, because you will truly become who you are and not what others want you to be.